Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education for Friday, August 7th. I think it's the 7th, but I hope you're having an amazing week and going into the weekend here. I hope I can give you some thoughts that'll inspire you to take your life to the next level and really bring out and unleash your potential. So today I want to finish up on our series of Harv Ekers' 17 Wealth Files from The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, that New York Times best-selling book that I constantly recommend. And I'm going to start again in case you didn't listen to the first three episodes in this series and remind you why we're doing this. We're talking about changing the way you think about things in your life in order to create a new, more abundant mindset that leads you towards success in every area of your life. Yes, we're talking about money, but it's not just about money in your life. Yes, we're talking in extremes, rich, poor. No, we're not judging poor people, okay? We're simply contrasting things so that you can really get some perspective on creating more success, happiness, and wealth in your life. And just to clear it up right now, I 100% believe that you are better off with more money and success in your life. Money is not good or bad. Your relationship and view of money might be good or bad. And money might just amplify traits already in someone. But money's a good thing. You can do much more good with it than without it. It helps to create peace of mind. It helps to create, lifestyle and things that I know that you'll benefit from. So with that aside, let's review how rich and successful people think and act. And then I'm going to just review the quick 11 that I've gone through already, and we'll dig right into the last 6 here today. And we'll go as long as we need to. I want to make sure that you get these principles. So the first 11 are these. Number 1, rich people believe I create my life, and poor people believe life happens to me. I'm giving you the contrast for a reason, right? Wealth number 2, rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. Number 3, rich people are committed to being rich, and poor people want to be rich. Wealth file number 4, rich people think big, and poor people think small. Wealth file number 5, rich people focus on opportunities while poor people focus on obstacles. What are you focused on? Wealth file number 6, rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. Rich people, number 7, rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Wealth file number 8, rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value, and poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. Wealth file number 9, rich people are bigger than their problems, and poor people are smaller than their problems. I certainly hope that you gain strength to get bigger than your problems rather than less problems. Wealth file number 10, rich people are excellent receivers, and poor people are poor receivers. And number 11, rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on their time. So this brings us to the final 6 wealth files that I want to cover here with you today. And I started just jotting a couple of notes here I want to talk to you about. So I hope we can go through this quickly. There's so much content we could go through, but based on our time together each day, I want to be able to keep it short. So wealth file number 12. This is one I really love. Rich people think both, and poor people think either or. I want you to think about certain circumstances in your life where you're thinking win-lose, or when you're thinking either or rather than thinking both. I believe this principle is all about abundant thinking. Do you believe there's abundance in the universe? Are you willing to choose to believe that there is abundance, that there is plenty, there is enough for everyone? The reason this is so important is that abundant thinkers have opened the world of possibilities, and their mind unlocks the possibilities and believe that there's a win-win available in every situation. Abundant thinkers know that they would be able to focus on solutions rather than problems because they know there are plenty of solutions. Therefore, there's more opportunity for them to create the solutions. And we've talked before about this filter that you apply to problems in your life. You're going to win at the game of life if you have a filter that allows you to operate from solution. If you're acting out of a scarcity mindset, well, you believe that for every winner, there's a loser. You believe that there's limited time and resources and opportunities. That's why you feel the urgency to take advantage of things because of fear of missing out. This is why you might resent others' successes, because you feel like there's not enough for everyone deep down. This is why you may even blame others for your failure, or you blame areas or situations in your life, your business, your relationships in that victim role because you believe you're a victim of circumstances because you have a scarcity mindset. Ultimately, if you will choose to have an abundant mindset and think both, I know that you're going to create more success in your life, and you will have absolutely the ability to have your cake and eat it too, period. Okay. Wealth file number 13, rich people focus on their net worth and poor people focus on their working income. Now, the distinction here has been wired into us from birth, right? What would you rather, what do you want to do, for example, for a living, rather than what would you like your life to be like? We talk about what do you want to do, right? Rather than what do you want out of life? What do you, what do you make for your income versus what is your net worth? We talk about budgets, we talk about expenses, we talk about, those kind of things, rather than talking about or tracking or focusing on net worth and value and overall success. And there are many, many other key areas. But see, we can't just talk about your income. These areas that, like Harv puts it, are areas like, besides your income, are savings, investments, simplification, passive and active income. And I'd highly encourage you to always be increasing your active income while actively growing your passive income through your business investments and residuals. See, I've got a friend of mine, Aaron Adams, best-selling author, who always talks about this 7-figure mindset and said, and I believe this by looking online right now, so many people are trying to replace their active income with passive income. See, 7-figure mindset individuals know that they want more active income, because the more active income they have, the more passive income they can create through investments. And when you recognize the value of both independently, you'll be in a net worth mindset. So now I know you might be saying, George, I don't have these other areas. I don't know where to start with investing or expanding my business to a residual or passive income stream. But it doesn't really matter whether you're currently pursuing this course of action or you know where to start. The more important question and the more important concept to get is where your focus goes, energy flows. If you focus on net worth, you'll find ways. If you're focused on net worth, you'll prioritize investing. I didn't have these things either until I prioritized learning, growing, networking, investing, and then I started surrounding myself with people that brought me closer to that. That's why you're listening to this podcast. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you need to focus and prioritize spending more time on your net worth, and you will see it grow. This is exactly what your focus needs to be. Your income will be part of that, right? Now, this leads us perfectly into the next wealth file number 14. Rich people manage their money well, and poor people mismanage their money well. How many of you feel like you're managing your money on a, daily basis? Most of us, right? How about weekly? How about monthly? How about annually? Rich and successful people manage their money on an annual or 3 to 5 year basis, right? If you don't learn to manage your money, then your money is going to always run and rule your life, period. Obviously, this means you need to learn to properly budget your money, even if I get it, it's overwhelming, it's boring, it's tedious. Nobody wants to do that. But you need to learn to be frugal and manage your money. Now, when I say frugal, I know most of you people out there, most successful people in general, and even unsuccessful people, they kind of view frugality in a bad way, right? I'm saying you need to learn the difference between things that are expenses or investments. You need to manage your money better. You need to start really and sincerely thinking about if you need that new car, that watch, those clothes, that lifestyle, that trip, or you just really want it. When you start to plan an amazing life and focus on your net worth and start following a plan to get you where you need to be, this filter of frugality that you can apply will help you create more peace of mind, happiness, and amazing levels of success. This is because we stop wasting money on things to impress people that don't really care about you and your lifestyle in the first place. It's interesting because a good friend of mine, Bill Danko, who wrote The Millionaire Next Door, which is a multiple New York Times bestseller, he discussed this and at one of our recent events. And frugality is so important. And he showed in his book, The Millionaire Next Door, that it doesn't take an exorbitant amount of money to create true wealth. It just takes discipline. He went on to write another bestseller called Richer Than a Millionaire, where he adds the idea that you can have both wealth and happiness, because happiness with wealth is richer than just a millionaire, richer than wealth, which is way better, right? But it takes a plan. It takes frugality. It takes discipline. It takes a conscious decision to manage your money well. Okay. Now that also leads us, because Bill actually spoke, Dr. Danko spoke at a recent high net worth investor conference we did, and he taught me something I hadn't known before, which leads to this wealth file number 15. Wealth file number 15 is rich people have their money work hard for them, and poor people work hard for their money. And Bill at our event talked about a gentleman named Frank, I think it's Modigliani, right? Who won the 1985 Nobel Prize for Economics. Now, he won the Nobel Prize for his hypothesis on the money life cycle. Basically, what it means is that through your working years and being frugal, your saving money is so important for you to be able to build your wealth, so that later on you can live comfortably in your non-working years when you're older. In other words, he was saying when you're young, you work for money, and when you're old, money works for you. But the problem is that no one is saving money anymore, and people are not frugal. We spend money on dumb stuff that doesn't build wealth just to impress people that don't matter. And worse yet, we spend money on things that make us feel good, only to find out that these are very short-term, temporary satisfaction things, and they're not long-term happiness. So I know exactly how that feels, and I'm sure many of you can relate. What's something that you've bought recently that you could have gone without, and that over time, when you're focused on net worth, could be compounding to help you build true wealth? So I appreciate that, Bill, for you bringing that up and listening and reminding me of these principles. So now I know this is kind of going a little over on our time, but hang in there with me for a minute, because we have a couple more. We're just about to the finish line here. Wealth file number 16, rich people act in spite of their fear, and poor people let fear stop them. This is a mindset you have to shift. Now, I've adopted and combined, a few different mentors teaching on this particular topic when I created the prosperity pillars, because prosperity pillar number 3, as you remember, is I act in spite of my mood. I act in spite of my mood. And the reason I say that is, let's discuss this for a second, because acting in spite of your mood involves motivation, discipline, more importantly, overcoming fear. Are you letting fear stop you, or is it the motivation, the discipline, the confidence? Identify why and what is holding you back, because without doing this, you can't overcome and change your mindset. But I do highly recommend, one particular solution for you that'll solve most of those, and that is surrounding yourself with successful and positive people. You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Because if you surround yourself with the right people, you're going to get better confidence, more motivation. You'll overcome your fear through, the confidence they have, or belief transference. Does that make sense? So really focus on surrounding yourself with the right people, and that will help you to act in spite of your mood and overcome fear. Okay, finally, wealth file number 17, rich people constantly learn and grow, and poor people think they already know. This one is completely self-explanatory, but let me give you some examples of this, because going through the last couple of months of this podcast, I'm constantly learning. We've talked about the alter ego effect. We've talked about wealth files. We've talked about ways to get in touch with your feelings and make decisions and change the way you think and act and see. We've talked about financial principles. These are all things I'm constantly learning and growing and developing. And it's what drives me. It's what creates fulfillment for me to do this podcast and bring those principles out. It's why you're listening to the podcast. So I congratulate you for that. But there's a reason why you need to continue to grow. And it really falls into those 6 core human needs that Tony Robbins talks about. And I'm actually going to be covering the 6 core human needs of things like certainty and variety and growth and impact and things like that next week. So don't miss that. But the key to understand here is that if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning and you think you know it all, you're never going to be rich. You're never going to be successful, at least not long term. So I hope these are things that have helped you to really get inside your way of thinking and identify some areas you can recommit yourself in a few areas of your life to improve on. Now, I want to ask you a couple of favors before we end here. Number one, go ahead and get a copy of Harv Ekers' book and read it. I know it's going to make a difference in your life. If you can't afford one, well, then you definitely need it. Okay. But if you can't afford one, hit me up on Instagram or the Daily Mastermind Facebook, and I'll get you a copy. We've already given away a couple dozen of those. Number 2, sit down and review these wealth files and identify the ones and commit to implementing the ones that you need the most help with in your life. Okay. And number 3, most importantly, subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends. I don't charge anything for the time and energy that it takes. And, it definitely takes me some time to do these things. But I love to do it. But I want to be able to share the message. And I only ask that if you've received some value, share it. Get the message out. Share it with a friend. Anyway, that's my message for today. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And please send me some feedback. I look forward to hearing from you. Once again, my name's George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have an amazing day.